This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association with MCK Global. Obviously, we've just seen a crazy night of boxing, Ben, in terms of the main event. White really was sailing at points in that fight, and then Povetkin pulls out. Just your reaction, Ben, please.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't something that was expected, but it definitely wasn't a complete shock. Dillian Whyte obviously dropped Povetkin with a left hook and then a left uppercut. And you know what they say, don't hook with a hooker, but obviously they're both left hookers, and it ended up that Dillian actually looked for a left hook. At the same time, he got it with a left uppercut off Povetkin, but he's got a habit of leaning over. And it was something I mentioned with the lads, sat watching with the lads, and he's got a habit of leaning over. The shot that finished it, the final shot against Joshua, was from the same habit of him leaning over. The shot that he got dropped by Oscar Rivas was because of the same habit of him leaning over. And the shot he got caught with tonight was again because of this bad habit that he's got of leaning over. And it's a shame. That's boxing, you know. Povetkin's a very heavy-handed man, and maybe in another weight category, in the lighter weights, you don't get made to pay like that in that fashion for it. But I thought that Dillian was doing a good enough job, and it's one of them things, you know. These things happen in boxing, unfortunately.
Ben, sorry, can you go landscape? It's all right.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
Sorry, boss.
You know, yeah, you mentioned you mentioned about Dillian leaning over and kind of losing his balance. I heard Dave Calder and Xavier Miller say the same thing in the corner. Did you pick that up too?
I did, yeah, and I've got to say, I don't know Xavier, or I don't know him, but I feel for him a little bit because, you know, if Dillian Whyte had got the job done there in the fourth round, I think it was, when he dropped Povetkin, you know, people would have said, "Oh, brilliant, you know, done a great job." And one shot, you know, has now changed that. But they were giving him the correct advice, telling him not to lean over. There's something that, you know, leaning over against Povetkin's a recipe for disaster. And they were telling him about that. And unfortunately, you know, he paid the price for it. But Povetkin was smart. He was going with that left hook to the body over and over and over and over. And when I saw it there, I saw that Dillian sort of got caught between catching the jab and sort of throwing the right hand to come back with his own left hook. Povetkin threw his jab, took his head offline and brought through. If any young fighters are out there watching on how to throw a left uppercut, that is, you're not going to get a better example.
I think a rematch will take place. Do you see that as a pure 50-50 now, Ben?
I said before, I done a thing on TalkSport yesterday that, you know, if it turns into a battle of left hooks, then it is a 50-50. But I think at range, Dillian certainly is the favourite, but anything can happen in boxing. We know that. I just think that that's a habit that he needs to get out of. Dillian is the leaning over, and it's what I would call poor defensive eyes, because when he leans over, he can't see what's coming, so therefore he's sort of guessing or going off an instinct. And in boxing, it's a shot that you don't see coming that hurts you, and that's what happened tonight.
Inevitably, this WBC situation will get prolonged even more now. So as long as Tyson beats Wilder, which is expected, and AJ beats Pulev, which is expected, I think that's the fight, isn't it now, Ben?
Yeah, obviously with the coronavirus situation, the landscape is all over the place. We don't know when these fights will happen, how they'll happen, where they'll happen. So over the place, you know, it looks more hopeful that could potentially be the case.
I just spoke to Aaron now before you, and he said that Fury Wilder looks like December 19th in Las Vegas. That's good news.
Yeah, if that is the case, I know that date has changed a few times. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's what happens. But like I say, with the current landscape and everything that's going on in the world, it's not nailed on, but we can only hope.
Let me quickly just ask you about Billy, Josh, Shabazz, and also Leo. How they all doing?
Yeah, all good. Josh is right in the thick of training now. Hopefully, a date should be announced very shortly. We'll be looking to get Shabazz on that same date. Both of them are looking well. Everything's going well in the thick of things. Still waiting on some news with Billy Joe. Obviously, we've seen the situation that Canelo's, asked apparently to box Yildirim for the WBC. So there's no news there. And Leo is training away. He's training away, and he's a great asset to have because he's a great character, and all the boys love him as well.
Quick one before I let you go. I'm sure you saw Tyson's post today to Floyd Mayweather Jr. What do you think about Floyd and Deontay Wilder possibly working together?
Do you know what? I've seen some of Floyd doing some of his coaching and some of his work with Devin Haney and a few of the others, and I'm impressed. Obviously we know that he's got the information there, but a lot and the art of coaching is delivering that information, how you deliver it, and I think that he's doing a very, very, very good job in delivering that information. So I've been impressed in that department. But look, Tyson's just sometimes it does boil down to who's the better man, and I just feel like Tyson's the better man. And he's shown that, he's shown that on a number of occasions. And Tyson's shown what level he's at, with the wins he's got behind him. So, and the way that he's done it in the fashion that he's done it in. So, whatever Deontay Wilder feels he needs, or Floyd Mayweather can have his opinions, he's entitled to them, of course. But my opinion is that Tyson Fury will be victorious, and probably in even better fashion again this time.
Okay, Ben, won't keep you any longer. Thanks for your reaction to tonight, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, all right?
See you soon, mate.
See ya. Bye.